Yeah, welcome to Ringside Report MMA. Tonight on the show, we'll preview the PFL 2023 season. We'll talk a little Wrestlemania. Fred will give you a NASCAR update. And I'll tell you why I've been a bad influence on my buddy Fred.
Let's go!
Yeah, let's go. Where are the guys? There's Freddie. There's AJ. What's up, Freddie?
I'm wearing the hat of the world champions. Go Astros.
Good God almighty. Why you got to start the show like that? Yankees are in first place in the AL East. They won today, opening day in the Bronx, 5-0 over the Giants. A fantastic performance from Garrett Cole. 6 innings pitched, no runs, 11 strikeouts. Aaron Judge, first at-bat of the season for the home run king of the American League, and he took one into Monument Park. A solo shot for Aaron Judge put the Yankees up early. Gleyber Torres, it was Gleyber Day in the Bronx. A 2-run homer for Gleyber. Aaron Judge and DJ LeMahieu added some RBI singles for some insurance in the 8th, and the Yankees went on to win in the Bronx this afternoon. I loved it. I was watching the game, enjoying myself, watching the beautiful New York Yankees win today.
They still suck.
They
Bada
won.
bing, bada boom.
Bada
Well,
bing,
man,
bada
you guys were
boom,
fighting
indeed.
early in the day, man. I was surprised. I'm like, okay, let's see what the Yankees do, but I guess it pays big bucks to get Aaron, man. How much is he getting paid now, this guy?
Oh, like $360 million over 9 years.
He's worth every penny, man.
It's not MMA money. I'll tell you that much, right?
I see it. It's not MMA money. It's definitely close to boxing money.
I'll
If
tell
it's
you what,
Mayweather,
though, man. And look, it's definitely not MMA money. But today I saw like a picture of Charles Oliveira. He had like it went like from favela to villa. The tag said, and the fucking Charles, man, just got himself a fucking nice house, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dave, look at that, man. He went from
That
the
can't be
favela,
cheap,
man.
man.
Think about it. Aaron
Yeah,
Judge
well,
didn't come from the
Aaron
the
Judge is
favela?
not going to show you his house because, you know, it's embarrassing, you know?
Listen, man, the season's still young, Dave. The season's still young. They got to beat the mighty Houston Astros because they are a championship
He'll get
winning
like
team.
27 home runs, man. That's his average. Last year was like an error, man.
That's not
That
true.
was his Brady Anderson year.
He's on pace to hit 162.
Yeah,
Listen,
last
man.
year was his Brady Anderson year, man.
Brady
It's like,
Anderson
what
never
the
hit
fuck is that?
63.
Listen, did anybody test him for picograms? I'm just saying.
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
That's all I'm saying. Here we
we
go.
go.
I'm just saying.
I kind of
I don't
agree.
know, man.
Oh,
Matt
come on, the
Canseco,
guy's
man.
gigantic. He's
Jose
naturally
Canseco,
huge.
Matt.
He's like 6'10".
AJ.
What are you talking about?
HGH.
Oh, please. So you guys are just jealous
Matt
of the
McGuire.
fantastic
Oh, no, Mark.
athletic ability that is Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees. Great game today. Go Yankees. We got a lot to talk about here. We've got
We do? It's a shit weekend for UFC. We have a lot
Take
to
it
talk
easy,
about. I thought it was
AJ.
going to be a 15-minute show. In
I
and
just
out.
realized
Bada
there's
bing,
something
bada
going-
boom.
I want to
There's
go to
some-
bed.
there's something going on this weekend that you don't know about, AJ, that you're going to be excited about. I'll tell you about in a minute.
Porn festival.
What?
What? What? Tell me what I'm going to be excited about. It's got to be good.
Well, first of all, WrestleMania is this weekend, and I know Fred wanted to talk about WrestleMania. I'll preview WrestleMania tomorrow night here on the Ringside Report Network with Johnny North, and then I'll be on after Night 1 and Night 2 of WrestleMania for the WrestleMania post-shows coming up this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. So WrestleMania is happening this weekend. We've also got Bellator 293 going down tomorrow night, Friday night, Bellator. And then PFL is going to start their season on Saturday night. So that's something. And I want to get your guys' guesses, not really predictions, because I know you guys don't really know who half the PFL roster is. But I'm going to read out some names, and I'll get you guys to guess who the winners might be for these tournaments, because they got their $1 million tournaments getting started this weekend, and then they'll run over the next several weeks until they crown a $1 million champion. Of course, our buddy Olivier Aubin-Mercier won the lightweight tournament
Dexter!
last year, won $1 million US, which is real money, you know? And he's in the tournament again this year, and he's going to be fighting Shane Burgos in a couple weeks at PFL 3, so we'll tell you a little bit about PFL and what they have coming up in 2023. AJ interrupting with nonsense. What did you say? Who's Shane Burgos? What are you saying?
No, I said Shane Burgos is in the PFL. Wow.
Yeah. I'm glad you're keeping up to date with Olivier's upcoming fights that he has in like 3
No,
weeks.
I know it's Burgos that was fighting, but I'm surprised that he's going to be fighting Burgos right off. Well,
you're surprised? You knew it was happening, but you're surprised it's happening in 2 weeks.
No, I'm like that.
AJ's
Burgos is in the
staying
PFL.
solid.
I'm just like solid as usual, man. I'm just saying Olivier, man, has all the skills to beat Burgos, man. Burgos, listen, man. If it's going to come down to those two guys fighting, we can all agree one thing: Olivier's going to do what he did to win the PFL, to deserve that $1 million. This guy's fought so hard, so well from the UFC, from TKO days, and he's going to still come back. And I think he has a strong possibility to win it again. It's going to be hard, but fighting Burgos, he's got to do what he did. Continue to play the grappling game. Yes, like he says, it's boring. Continue to, like, isolate that. And Burgos is going to come out trying to, like, you know, show up for the fans, try to come out with his, like, exciting flair, his striking, all that kind of stuff. All that Olivier's got to do is take him to the ground and smother him. And that's how you win.
I think he can knock him out standing, but whatever.
Well, that's going to be tough.
Dave, is it like a round robin? Is it the
PFL?
Championships?
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
I will explain to you the rules of the PFL soon here, guys. I want to tell you what's happening this weekend before we get to the PFL, an event that you guys might be more excited about, even more excited than the PFL. And I'll tell you the PFL rules, Fred, and we will break it down and break down how ridiculous the rule set kind of is in the tournament. But this is an event that I think Fred and AJ will be excited about, maybe more than WrestleMania.
Ooh.
Okay, this weekend.
Daughter?
What?
The Rock's daughter?
The Rock's
Isn't
daughter.
she fighting on, like, Dwayne Johnson, his daughter?
No.
Isn't she going to wrestle?
What, an NXT? You think I give a damn about that? What are you talking about? No. This Saturday in Milwaukee is Game Bred Boxing 4. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Which
What
is
that?
a main event of Roy Jones Jr. This is all boxing, okay? The Game Bred Boxing is Jorge Masvidal's boxing promotion. I don't know where he's getting the money for all this, but, you know.
And they're
whatever.
going against WrestleMania?
Yeah, I don't know why. But they are. And the main event is Roy Jones Jr. boxing against Anthony Pettis, former UFC lightweight champion. Then they have Jose Aldo in a 6-round boxing match against Jeremy Stevens, former UFC fighter. Then you've got Vitor Belfort boxing Jacare.
That's going to be crazy, man.
Ronaldo Jacare Souza.
Oof,
You also
good
got
luck,
Pearl
Jacare,
Gonzalez against Gina Mazzani, a couple UFC fighters there, and some other stuff on this card. But the main fights, I mean, Pettis against Roy Jones. Pettis and Roy Jones is an interesting fight because you think, it's a boxing match. Roy Jones is one of the best boxers ever. But, you know, he's kind of old. Pettis is 36 and Roy is 50-something. 54. You know, Roy, I think, is a bigger guy than Pettis, but he's 54.
He's never fought a professional boxing match in his life. And you've got Roy Jones, man. He's won 66 fights, man.
Yeah.
He's fought like over 70-something fights in his professional career.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's a smart move by Pettis, man.
Professional?
Yeah. This is a pro boxing card that apparently is actually going to take place on Saturday.
I'll be watching it.
Will you? Yeah.
I'm going to watch it for sure,
I hope
man.
it
This
happens.
hypes me up more than anything.
Another Roy Jones Jr. out there, and it's not the Roy Jones Jr. we know. You know, it's going to be somebody else that comes out.
No, this
His name is Roy Jones.
Roy
They
Johnny
got the real
Jones
guy.
Jr.
Roy
Some guy
John
from
Jr.
Brooklyn.
No.
Yeah, Freddie's got a point. It might be just, not the actual guy you think.
No,
That's
it
a
is.
perfect Sopranos move.
No, this is the real guy. There's been a press conference and everything. This is real. Roy Jones is boxing Anthony Pettis on Saturday. Jose Aldo is boxing Jeremy Stevens, and Jacare is boxing Vitor Belfort.
Well, you know
That's
what,
sick,
man?
man.
If WrestleMania doesn't deliver, man, I might pay attention to it. But yeah, my attention's gonna be to WrestleMania for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
but I'm gonna have my
man,
eye on this. Like, I'm gonna want to know
listen,
what's going on in this, right? This
I'll be
is kind
keeping
of
you
a
guys
fun
posted.
freak show event. I know AJ's
Well,
gonna be on the boxing thing.
listen, man, it's crazy because you got like the three like main card fights are all guys that you want to see. Who does want to see Aldo fight? Who does want to see Belfort fight? Jacare fight? Man, that's crazy. Roy Jones. I'm gonna be watching that. I'll be keeping you guys posted. But the only guy through the MMA scene that actually has a professional record is Vito Belfort. He actually fought once, and he has a win. All the rest, I mean, Jeremy Stevens never boxed professionally. Jacare,
If they all did a
never
tournament, Vitor would win.
well, look, Vitor should be able to beat Jacare like pretty easily. Like if it's going to be the stand-up game, I mean, this is, if you want to call it a mismatch, I think this is a
Evander
mismatch.
his last fight knocked him out.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah,
he could take
and think about
Roy
it.
Jones.
Well, let's see what Anthony Pettis does. I mean, Pettis has like some pretty good hands in MMA, but he's going up against a seasoned boxer like Roy Jones. I mean,
Predictions.
good luck, man.
Predictions. I'm going with Pettis,
What?
Vitor, and Aldo.
You got 2 out of 3 that I think you're going to be right.
Jones, Vitor, and Aldo.
Fine.
I'm going with
Okay.
Freddie. Exactly that, man. There's no way in hell that Jones is not going to be able to beat Pettis. And I love Anthony Pettis. He
Vitor
supported the Ringside
Belfort
Report.
smashed Evander Holyfield, guys.
Yeah, but
Think
that was
about
different.
it. But
I don't
Vito,
know.
yeah,
I mean,
but
that's
listen, they're not.
Vitor, and Evander looked really old.
Yeah, and Vitor is like getting a little bit of help from his picogram TRTs, man. They're not testing for this. I can assure you, when Belfort walks into the ring, he's going to be ripped,
Okay.
man. This
All
is a
right.
different sport, man. Belfort
Well,
can do this kind of shit.
We've got
all
a
day.
few events. We've got a few events now on Saturday night. We've got WrestleMania. We've got PFL. And we've got this game bred boxing. Freddie and I have decided to watch WrestleMania. AJ, I think, is going to watch this game bred boxing. So you're welcome, AJ.
Yeah, right.
I just gave you your Saturday night's entertainment. See, even AJ
Yeah.
learned something here on Ringside Report MMA. Even
knew he was going
AJ, who's part of the show, learns about events that are taking
You're
place.
right.
And then
You're
he
right,
comes
but
on
that's
the
why-
show
that's why I tuned
and
into
acts
the
like an
show.
expert about said events, even though he just found out they were taking
It's
place.
been a rough week, man. I knew this event was going on. I didn't think it was this weekend coming up. I'm glad you reminded me. Anyways, it would have popped up on my app anyways. But all to say is this,
What app?
is that I got all kinds of apps for like
Which
combat.
app?
But listen, from the
Popped
Philippines.
up
I told you, my
on
Philippine
my
guys,
app
man. They
is
inform
not
me all
a
the time.
phrase that makes sense.
Well, a lot of things pop up, dude. Then you'd be surprised. Listen, ask John Jones. But listen, I'm going to tell you
You
something.
can't just
This
say,
is exciting.
ask John Jones to get you out of any situation and make it into a joke, Doesn't work.
Yes, you can, man. Yes,
No.
you can.
It's not working for me.
Hey, listen, man. Shout out to all our Rumble fans, man.
Shout out to everybody
Rumble!
watching on Rumble. Shout out to everybody watching on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I see Brooklyn
Twitch.
Lizard out on YouTube. Haseen Terrell out on
Hey!
YouTube. CSL Lauren out on YouTube. Everybody checking us out all over the world, all over the planet. We appreciate
Philippines!
you. Hit us up on Super Chat. Join.ringsidereport.net. Support the
New Jersey!
Ringside Report Network. Go to join.ringsidereport.net. AJ, you keep yelling over me. I don't know what the hell you're saying, and I don't think anybody else does either. So maybe
Nobody cares,
don't.
man.
Maybe don't
be a
yell
bacala.
over me
This is
when
what
I'm
our-
trying to get a promo
You
out.
weren't saying anything important, man.
You fucking guy. I'm going to put you on timeout again, man. Like I
I
don't
was waiting
understand.
for that,
What's
man.
with the get up tonight? You look like a jabroni.
Listen, man. Listen, I told you this is
You
bacala
look
night,
worse
man.
than
It's been-
usual somehow.
What?
I guess you're covering a lot of your face up, so that helps, I guess. I don't know.
Well, that kind of does help. But listen, man. Listen, it's all like homage to like the Sopranos because I've been on a Sopranos binge again. It's bacala week because I've seen so many bacalas this week. I'm telling you, man. I see so many bacalas this week. I can make a stew, man. It's been ridiculous. How many stupid people are there in this world? Anyways, I saw a good one yesterday,
Why are
man,
you
with the cops.
disrespecting Bobby Bacala?
I'm not
calling
even
him stupid?
disrespecting bacala.
Bobby
Bacala-
Bacalieri? Why are
he's
you
a bacala-
disrespecting him? You're saying I see a lot
Listen,
of
man.
bacalas, a bunch of stupid people. Why are you
Listen, Paulie's
disrespecting
right.
the great
Bobby was
memory
cool.
of the late, great Bobby Bacala?
Hey,
Bobby
listen,
was
man.
cool.
Bobby was great.
He was okay.
He
but
got
was a
killed
bacala.
by a train set. Poor Bobby. I love Bobby. He lost his wife. Poor Bobby.
Poor Bobby.
You know?
But he was a bacala,
Unfortunately,
man. It
ended
doesn't
up
make a
with
difference.
Janice was great, but isn't
Yeah.
she like a little crazy? You know? Do you
Yeah.
really wish Janice on anybody?
No. No. I mean, Bobby got into that big fight with Tony. He beat up Tony. That was good. Gotta love Bobby Bacala.
One of my favorite scenes is when Janice tells Richie that, so what if your son's gay? And then Richie just like, hey, bang. And then Janice goes, yeah, well, bang to you, motherfucker.
Yeah. I love when she grabs the gun. She's pointing the gun at him, and he goes, what? I'm in no mood. And she just shoots. He's like, what is this? Come on. What are you doing to me? Boom. And he's like, what the hell? He can't believe it. Classic.
I remember the Purgatory scene, man, with Christopher. You remember that one? You know, I forgot about
3
Purgatory,
o'clock.
and then Paulie goes, man, it's just a little detour on the way to heaven, man.
You were in purgatory, my friend. Tremendous.
Multiply your sins by like 50. That's where I stand, man.
Yeah.
I miss Paulie, man. I got Paulie above me, man. Take a look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest, man. Greatest character.
All right. So that's why you're wearing sunglasses, because of The Sopranos?
Yeah, it's homage. Well, it's because
Because you look like an
week, man.
FBI informant right now. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
this guy's looking like he wants to conceal his identity or something.
Yeah.
I kind of look like that guy from, Donnie Brasco.
You know
man.
who you look like? You look like
A bacala.
no, what's that
I
guy's
look
name?
like a bacala.
The famous guy. He turned FBI
guy?
informant there. What's
Donnie
his name?
Brasco. I just said it.
No,
Henry
not
Hill?
no, a real guy. A real guy. No,
Eddie
not
Hill?
Henry Hill?
not Henry Hill. Come on, guys. Help me out.
Donnie Brasco.
That's not
Donnie.
a real guy. He turned on John
Yeah, he
Gotti.
is.
You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah, that guy, man. Oh, you're talking
Sammy
about
the
the Sammy
Bull?
the Bull.
Sammy the
Gravano.
Bull. He looks like Sammy the Bull Gravano modern day. AJ, right now.
can
AJ
look like Sammy.
looks like Sammy the Bull. You look like, it's true. Fred is right. You do look like an FBI informant.
Kind of
Only
feel like
thing
Trump
missing
right now.
is changing
But I'll
your
tell you,
voice.
Listen,
Put a robotic
Dave,
voice to it.
You know what? I don't like. You know what, Dave? I'm going to tell you something. I don't
Sammy
like your
the Bull.
pasty white face.
Sammy the Bull and AJ. Look, it's the same guy. Basically the same guy. Look at this. Oh, big shades. Big shades. Sammy the Bull and AJ. AJ takes off the hat. He's Sammy the Bull. AJ, what's going on here? Is this you? Is this who you're trying to be?
I wasn't,
That's,
but like,
it's the same hat.
He's a handsome man.
Same
Look at
hat,
that guy.
same
He's handsome.
shades. AJ is
He's a
trying to
handsome
be
man.
Sammy the Bull Gravano, who had a
These are
really good
Ferrari glasses,
podcast.
by
I
the
listened
way.
to his podcast quite a bit. It's very good. Very interesting. But that's who you
It is
look like
good,
right
right?
now. You look like Sammy the Bull Gravano, AJ.
Well, I'm no rat,
Congratulations.
but I'll tell you something. Thank you.
I
But
don't know.
Sammy, man, Sammy was like no joke, man, back in the days. But then he kind of turned, you know. No offense to you, Sammy, but shit happens. I understand.
I don't know about you, AJ.
But-
I don't think you'd stand up under questioning.
I would, man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Have you ever been put to the test?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
But you know what? It depends what the test is, man.
Well,
know?
see, there you go. See, that's the problem, AJ. All right? When you're looking
It
at 20 to
depends what the
life, you
test
got to
is.
be able to pass the test.
Depends what's presented in front of you, man. But all
Oh.
to say is this.
That's what, well,
It's
okay.
not probably-
That's what happened to Big Pussy, and look how it ended up for him. He didn't want to do the time, so he talked to the FBI, and then all of a
Big
sudden,
Pussy, man.
Tony, Silvio, and Paulie take him out on a boat, and it's bye-bye Big Pussy. Be careful,
Don't be a
AJ.
pussy, man.
Don't snitch on me and Fred, all right? You're going to be in big trouble.
Didn't he call him Princess Di at one point? He goes,
Thank
"What's
you.
going on with Princess Di?"
Huh?
I thought that was Paulie when he quoted him. Pussy. He goes, "What's going on with that Princess Di?"
You
What's
think
it
they
on?
whacked her? They said that. They asked that at one point in the show. You think they
Listen,
whacked her,
man,
the Princess
listen,
Di, the
you-
royal family?
Listen. I got my theory on that.
Yeah, but
I'm
I
gonna
don't
say
care
this.
about your theories on any of
Yes,
that.
for sure she got
Doesn't
whacked,
really
man.
matter. Let me tell
Who
you
do you
about
think
the
is the biggest
PFL
crime
this
family?
weekend. I'll tell you about the rules of the
Oh, yeah.
PFL and how
Let's
all
hear it,
of
let's
that
hear it.
works. Because I know you
That's
don't
your
know,
Lack
right?
family.
AJ doesn't
No, I
know.
do.
You know how the PFL rules work?
Well, I know I don't know it like completely, but I know it goes by points, and you got to attain certain points, and you got to be on the top 4, and then it goes to the playoffs, and then it goes to the championship rounds. I really like their format. I think it's really cool because you got to attain those points, and I'm not sure if it's from 3 or 4 judges.
But
Because
who
there's
fights
also
who?
a 4th
How
Judge.
does that
You think
work?
it's by judges? So AJ, you don't know how the points work at all, right?
Well, the point system
You don't
by
know how it works.
yeah, there's
No.
okay, man, go
You think it's
enlighten
by
me, you motherfucker.
judges? It's not
Well,
judges.
it's by
I'll tell you. It's okay. I'll
by-
tell you.
okay,
I
okay,
didn't
okay,
really
go, go.
understand how it worked either because, who cares because it's silly.
Well, we should be enlightened. It's the number 2 MMA combat organization in the world.
Is
It's
it?
right behind the UFC. Yeah, man. I was looking at their stats, man, and I was looking at their numbers. It's ridiculous.
Are they bigger than
They're-
Bellator now? Have they overtaken Bellator?
Yeah, because they're available on more than 155 million devices. I mean, I'll tell you, it's the leading. It's number 2 apparently. It's on ESPN, ESPN Plus. Man, we're looking at 2023 is a big year for PFL, man. They came out strong.
Okay.
Finished the year. All
right. So AJ says they're the number 2 MMA promotion in the world. I'll agree with him. Fred, do you want to disagree with him? I think probably
I
at this
don't
point.
care.
Next to the UFC? Like,
If you're second, you're the first loser, man. If you're not
Yeah, if
first,
you're not
you're
first,
last.
you're last.
wow.
You're right,
Wow.
Freddie.
Okay,
Sure,
well,
he's
how
got
about
a
this, Fred? Let
Nascar.
me pose it to you another way. Let me pose it to you a different way. Other than the UFC, is there an MMA promotion where once in a while there's a fight that you're inclined to see? Like, and what MMA promotion is that? Like you're going to watch the UFC, you're going to watch the big fights in the UFC, but like once in a while there'll be a fight somewhere else. Is it PFL or Bellator?
It's probably Bellator if I'm completely objective. The only thing that interests me in PFL is because Ali is there. So
Yeah.
we love Ali Olivier Aubin-Mercier. We love that guy. He's been on our show many times and all that. So we like to support him. But other than that, man, I couldn't. I was looking at that poster of all the participants, man, and I'm like, man, most of these guys, I got no clue who they are. But I'll tell you what, man, that Abdul Aziz guy, man, he had a mean face, man. I got no clue what his record is. I didn't even check it out. But just looking at his mean face, and he looked kind of big on the poster. So I'm like, that guy looks kind of scary. But other than that, man, I got no clue on who's who in that.
I don't even know who you're talking about. Abdul Aziz. Who?
Abdul Aziz there. He's on the right there on the poster. He's tall in the back. Where's the poster, man?
What poster?
He's in the lightweight division.
Abdul Aziz.
Yeah, Abdul Aziz
Volkov, man. Do you want me to butcher his name? That's his name.
But the worst part is on the PFL site, they don't even have his picture posted on the roster. So
that's my pick,
he's not
man.
there, man.
Who is
My
he?
pick's Ali, but if it's not Ali, I got Abdul Aziz Abul Vakab.
He's got a good record.
Abdul
19-2, man.
Vakabov. Why are you picking
No,
him?
no,
He's a
no.
lightweight. He's a lightweight. Okay.
Well, that's Olivier's division.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Well,
got
how are you
some
going to pick
serious
against
competition
Olivier,
there,
man?
man.
That's not cool. Don't pick against
All
Olivier.
I said is that he had like a mean mug on that poster, man. I was looking at the poster with all the participants, and I'm like, wow, this guy looks scary. I don't want to fight him.
I wouldn't want to fight anybody who's got like one of those names, Abdul Bakar Bagadu. You know those guys from Dagestan, man? I don't want to fight any of those guys. Your name's Nurmagomedov, and I'm like, probably not, man. Come on. If your name's Magomed, I'm staying away from you, man. You're dangerous.
You see, Sherdog tells me he's 19-2.
19-2, man. He's no joke, man.
Yeah,
But he's
a lot of these
34,
guys
man.
are. Yeah.
34, and I don't know him, so that's not a good sign.
Oh, that's true.
I'm still picking him.
PFL, though, a lot of unknowns. Okay, PFL
Well, you
rule
know
set.
what?
Okay, this is how it works. Let me explain it to
let's
you
hear
so
it.
we know. The winner of the fight gets 3 points. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
So I think they have several fights. I don't know how many fights they have in the
Because
opening
there's
round.
10 guys.
Yeah,
There's
there's
10 guys in the division.
Yeah, so how many fights do they have, these guys?
I don't know. They can't have 9 fights. That's for sure. That makes no sense.
Yeah, how does this all work? Like a
I
guy.
think you were
hold
the
on.
expert coming on here.
All right, so Brendan Loughnane, who won the featherweight tournament last year, he fought once, and then he was in the semifinals. I don't know how that worked. Maybe he got a lot of points. I don't know. I guess they fight once in this opening round, and then they figure out how many points they have for the playoffs, and then they do a knockout tournament in the playoffs. I think that's how it works.
Could be.
God damn. I don't see. This is why I just would prefer tournaments without rule sets that are confusing. Why can't we just have, like, 8
UFC
guys in
one.
a tournament, and then the winner of this fight fights the winner of this fight, and then at the end, whoever is the winner, and that's it. But no, we have
That's
to
how
have
the
this
UFC was,
point
man.
system. Yeah, just old school
UFC
style.
1, 2, 3, man. That's how it was. It's like
Not in
you had
one
8,
night,
10
though. Not one night, but
Well,
over several
listen.
months is fine.
yeah,
Grand
but they used
Prix.
to do it all in one night,
Like
man.
Strikeforce
That's some
Grand
tough
Prix.
dudes.
No.
That was interesting.
All right.
Talk about the Grand Prix. Here we are. This is the old school stuff, man.
So
But
the winner of a fight gets 3 points. If the fight is a draw, both fighters get a point. Now, you get bonus points for finishing. If you finish in the first round, you get 3 bonus points. So if you win and you finish in the first round, you get 6 points overall. If you finish in the second round, you get 2. Finish in the third round, you get 1. So you could get 6, 5, 4, or just 3 points for a win. It depends how you win and when you win. So the earlier, the better. So there's incentive for these guys to win quickly. Get a finish for sure, but do it as fast as possible, because if you do it in the first, you get more points. So that's how it works, which is kind of weird. I don't love it. I don't love that system. Like, I like incentivizing people to finish fights, but I don't like rewarding somebody for finishing in the first rather than finishing in the second. Like, to me, if you
I'd
finish
rather just
somebody...
see- And also, there's like 10 fighters, and last season they only had like 2 fights in the group stage, I would call it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little weird. You gotta get lucky, get a good matchup, get a good win. Like, man, you could win by decision, a tough fight, man, and it doesn't mean that you're less of a contender. So I'd rather see just a knockout phase. Like, just get 16 guys, 4 rounds. Just like WrestleMania 4, one of the best WrestleMania at Trump Plaza. Love that setting where, they come down from that long alley at Trump Plaza.
Yeah.
Donald's in the first row, doing better than today.
Oh, yeah.
you'll do better after today. Don't worry.
Okay, AJ, take it easy. So I think you're right about that. And then you have guys with favorable matchups in the first round, and you're like, well, wait a second, this doesn't seem very fair. Like, we have a matchup here between Movlid Khaibulaev and Ryoji Kudo. Now, Ryoji Kudo in PFL is 1-2. He has lost 2 fights and won just 1. Movlid is 19-0 as a professional and won this tournament 2 years ago. He couldn't make the tournament last year because he was injured, but 2 years ago he won this whole thing. So he's like a -700 favorite going into this fight. Movlid should win and should finish this Ryoji guy in the first round. But that's not fair. How come he gets this easy matchup? You see, so he gets 6 points. It's like, well, he's in the semifinals. It's over. He's done. It's a weird system, especially when they give you some of these fights where it's like, well, that's a mismatch. He should smash this guy real quick. So there's that. Movlid, by the way, I'm going to give you some. Man. I'm going to tell you who's fighting here on Saturday for the PFL. Brendan Loughnane, who was the featherweight winner last year, he won the $1 million. He's in the main event against Marlon Moraes. Rob Wilkinson, who I believe won the tournament last year in light heavyweight, he's taking on former UFC fighter Thiago Santos.
That's going to be good.
Thiago Santos is in the co-main event of this thing. His last fight was against the current champion Jamal Hill,
with
where he
2
lost.
knees, man, that he didn't have, and he did very well.
Huh? What?
Thiago, wasn't his knees out on him when he fought that fight?
Against Jamal Hill?
Yeah, I thought his knees were not like...
I think it was against John Jones.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of the John
Oh,
Jones fight.
yeah.
The Jamal Hill
John
fight
Jones
that
fight.
was recent
that's
in
right.
August 2022. I don't think his knees were completely shot then because
No, they were
he's
actually.
fighting
You're
now
right.
in March.
Yeah. He did have both 2 operations on his knees after that. You're right.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
So that's going to be tough. I think Santos is going to do very well in this division, man.
We'll see.
I mean, they got a couple of interesting names, man.
Christoph Jotko
it's
is
a
there,
fun
man.
little tournament they're doing, but the rules are weird.
Let me give you the light heavyweight. So we have light heavyweights and featherweights fighting this weekend. In the light heavyweight tournament, we got Rob Wilkinson, Thiago Santos. Christoph Jotko used to fight in the UFC. He's taking on Irishman Will Fleury, Ryoji Kudo, and Movlid Khaibulaev. And Chris Wade against Bubba Jenkins are in the featherweight tournament. Then you've got prelim fights, Martin Hamlet against Mohamed Fakhreddin at light heavyweight, Josh Silveira against Sam Kai, Alejandro Flores against Daniel Torres, Delan Monte against Ty Flores, and Corey Hendricks against Impa Kasangane, who used to fight in the UFC. So, who's your pick to win the light heavyweight tournament, AJ? Do you have a pick? Do you know who's in the tournament? Do you want me to give you some names here?
No, I have them. I mean,
just give me a pick.
Listen, man, I'm going to go with, look, it's going to be tough, man, because Shane Burgos is there going up against...
I said light heavyweight.
Oh, light heavyweight. I thought you said lightweight.
Okay.
Light heavyweight.
I'll just give you some names, and you can tell me who's...
Let me give you a name. I think Thiago Santos is probably a strong contender to win all this.
He's going to lose the opening round.
I don't think so, man. I think you're mistaken there, man. I think he's going to do very well. I know Robert Wilkinson, Jocko. I see some of the records of the other guys. One guy that looks pretty interesting is Josh Silveira. 9 fights, 9 wins, 1 loss. Will Fleury from Ireland. Pretty decent record. I'm going to go with Santos. Just because I know that he technically beat John Jones.
What the fuck? And so did Cyril Gann too, right, AJ? Your boy Cyril Gann, he beat John Jones too, right?
He slipped on a banana, man. Don't blame him.
Yeah, sure. Whatever excuse you want to make, that's fine. So my pick to win the light heavyweight tournament is going to be last year's winner, Rob Wilkinson. I think he'll beat Thiago Santos, and I think he'll win the tournament again.
From Australia.
And my dark horse pick to win that tournament is going to be either Mohamed Fakhreddin or Impa Kasangane. I think those are 2 guys to look out for.
Yeah.
And the featherweight tournament, I'm going to go with Movlid Khaibulaev to win that one again. So those are my picks for those tournaments that will debut on Saturday. Fred, you want to give a pick, or do you want to just kind of...
That Movlid, man, looks solid.
Thiago Santos, man. I'm going with AJ.
Team
AJ.
Freddie, man. Damn, man. That's it, man. My homie.
And then April 7th, we have the women's featherweight and the heavyweight tournament, the men's heavyweight tournaments starting. And last year's winner, Larissa Pacheco, is going to be in the main event against Julia Budd. Of course, Pacheco beat Kayla Harrison by big shock last year. And the heavyweight winner, Ante Dalia, had to pull out due to injury, so he's actually not going to be in the tournament this year, which is unfortunate. Women's featherweight tournament, I think Larissa Pacheco has to be looked at as a favorite, but I think a newcomer to PFL, Aspen Ladd, former UFC fighter, 28 years old, coming in, got a win over Julia Budd in her UFC or in her PFL debut last November. I'm going to go with Aspen Ladd as my pick to win the women's featherweight PFL tournament. I think she's got a real shot here. And the men's heavyweight tournament, I think, is kind of, it could go a bunch of different ways. Heavyweight fights are real interesting. I think you got to look at Denis Goltsov. You got to look at Rizvan Kuniev. And, Jorgen De Castro, too. It's a wide-open tournament, the heavyweight tournament. Rizvan, though. Rizvan is interesting.
Oh, you have Morris Green that's there that we know.
Yeah.
Marcelo Nunes, man, that guy is dangerous. Denis Goltsov from Russia, man, 29-7 record. This guy, it's going to be
See,
tough,
you got
man.
Rizvan.
You got-
Rizvan Kuniev. Okay, guys, take it down.
I'm gonna.
Note it down now. Dave is picking Rizvan Kuniev to win the PFL heavyweight tournament. And when this happens at the end, I want to get all the kudos, all right? Rizvan.
Now,
My man, Rizvan.
I'm gonna be the downer here and call you out for your false liking this tournament. I mean, you guys are naming all these names, and all I could think of is, please, Francis Ngannou, don't sign over there, man. I don't want you to fight
Yeah?
any of these jabronis, man.
Wow.
Well,
Come
it's
on.
close. They're talking right now. They're in
Oh,
talks
please.
to have
I mean-
like Ngannou come into the PFL.
Jake
I can
Paul's
see
supposed
that
to fight
happening.
there.
I could see him doing that as well. It could be interesting.
That's more
PFL,
normal.
man,
Yeah.
it's close.
I don't think
man.
Ngannou's
Maybe
going to sign
Ngannou
there.
coming in.
And then
never know,
April
Dave.
14th, we have the next PFL event, and Olivier Aubin-Mercier is going to be main eventing that one to kick off the lightweight tournament. He'll take on Shane Burgos, who was supposed to fight in the featherweight tournament, but he came up to the lightweights instead. I think Olivier is a solid favorite to win the lightweight tournament.
Unless the guy he beat for the final, no? Oh, no, he beat Stevie Ray in the final.
Yeah.
Stevie Ray, man.
Who doesn't seem to be in this tournament. You've got Abdul Aziz Abdul Vakabov taking on Ahmed Amir. That should be an interesting fight there. And
Stevie
Natan
Ray
Schultz
is
and
there.
Stevie Ray. That's a big one too at lightweight. But
he's
I'm
there,
gonna go
buddy.
with Olivier to win. And then Sadibou Sai, who won the welterweight tournament last year, he's taking on Jara Al Silawawi. And that's the welterweight tournament and lightweight tournaments kicking off April the 14th for PFL. I'm going with Olivier to win the lightweight tournament. And I think I got to go with Magomed Umalatov to win the
Yeah, man,
welterweight
that guy has
tournament.
crazy
Okay?
record.
It's either going to be Magomed Umalatov or Magomed Karimov. Pick your Magomed to win the welterweight tournament. It's either Magomed Umalatov or the other guy whose name is Magomed, and then his last name is Magomed Karimov. Like, what? It's such a Magomed-heavy tournament. And
Listen, man,
I'm going to
Dagestan,
guess they're
man.
both from Dagestan, Russia. But I
Oh,
think
yeah.
Umalatov is going to be the one to win. I'm going with Magomed Umalatov to win the welterweight PFL tournament. And he's
You've
opening
got,
up
like-
this. He's the first fight on the prelims on that PFL 3 card, okay, guys? So he's not like a big name and a big kind of a favorite to win, but look out for Magomed Umalatov. I did some research for this card, guys. I did some research for the PFL, and I'm going with Umalatov.
Dave, I'm going
All
to tell
right.
you something. Anytime you have like a Dagestanian in like a fight, or in this case a tournament, you've got two of them. They're going to be solid contenders, man. Their records are like crazy. And you got guys from all over the world, like South Africa, Germany, Brazil for sure, from Lebanon, if I'm not mistaken. But, man, when you see Dagestanians in that pitch, put your money on that. I think one of the Magomeds are going to come through if they don't fight in the final.
All right, so you're going with Magomed and Olivier in the welterweight and lightweight tournaments.
Yeah, and I
Fred
like your
going with
Aspen lad,
Olivier in the lightweight tournament, not that other guy. Right, Fred?
Burgos.
Go, Ollie.
There you go.
Ali!
Go, Ollie.
Listen, man, Ollie's just got to keep doing what he did in his last season, man. That's all he's got to do.
Win.
Smother. Win
Yeah.
and smother.
Tough,
smother
though.
and win.
Tough to come right
It is
back
tough.
into it.
Yeah, but this
A lot
guy,
of
you know,
fights
Ollie,
last
man,
year.
yeah, a lot of fights, you know, super determined, man. He has something like to fight for, man, defend that belt. And it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be a good season for Ollie. You know, look, anything could happen, right? But
Yeah.
I-
And
I
if he
think he's
wins, he
gonna
gets
be up
another
on
$1
that.
million, which is pretty cool,
man, he
right?
deserves it, man. Yeah, man. Good for him, man. And you know
Mhm.
what? It just goes to show you, like, our Quebec fighting scene. If they're not in the UFC or in, like, you know, if they're in some organization, they're always there, man. They're always on the top level elite fighters, man. And it's great to see another Quebecer win in the PFL, and you know, former UFC fighters that were from Quebec. I mean, we have great fighting teams here. It's amazing.
Mhm.
That was my whole week talking to some bacalas, talking about like who has some of the best fighters. Man, Montreal has some amazing camps, and we produce some amazing champions. So let's go, Ali. Do it again, man.
Yep. AJ's talking
Get
about
George in
himself
there.
mostly.
Don't be a bacala.
Don't be
And
a
listen,
marshmallow.
Aspen Ladd, I'm going to tell you something about Aspen Ladd. I think you're right on
No.
that. I think she has a great shot. And I want to
Okay.
just say one thing. Aspen Ladd, thank you
Yeah.
for supporting Ringside Report this week. Aspen Ladd, we're not picking you because you support us. We're picking you because we believe in you.
I wasn't even aware, but thank you, Aspen Ladd. Okay, so we have last weekend we were all dead wrong in the main event for the UFC. We all picked
Yeah, we
Marlon
blew it.
Vera, and he did not show up. Like, what happened last weekend? Cory Sandhagen looked sharp. He looked good. Solid all around, really good wrestling. The takedowns were the key, and Marlon Vera had absolutely no answer, but he just seemed flat. Like, even his coach was like, "Are you good? Are you in this? Hello, wake up," and he just, and the commentary kept talking about how, he starts slow and this and that.
Yeah.
And you could
Also,
tell, man, I don't know about you guys. I was watching the fight, and you could tell Michael Bisping and Marlon Vera have the same coach, right? Because the guy, Jason Perillo there in Marlon Vera's corner, man, Bisping was, I don't know if he thought he was trying to hide how biased he was in his commentary, but he was not hiding how biased he was in his commentary. It was pretty obvious that Bisping was rooting for Vera and like, oh, look, Vera's smart here, and Vera's doing this, and Vera's doing that. Meanwhile, Sandhagen's just laying a whooping on him, and Bisping just kept calling it for Vera, and I was like, I don't know, Bisping, I think you're showing a little bit, you're showing your hand a little bit. He's like, Vera needs to do this, Vera needs to do, like, it was a little much, and Vera did need to do a lot because he was doing very little. It was a surprising performance from Marlon Vera. I thought that we would get a little bit more pop out of him.
Listen, man, it was
sorry,
an
go
unfortunate...
ahead, Fred. Go ahead, Fred.
I was going to say it was a bad performance by Vera. I only watched mostly highlights, but you criticizing Bisping for his commentary. I mean, that's the guy's coach, man. Of course he's going to be like, a little
biased.
Yeah, exactly. It's normal,
but here's the problem with that. He's still a good analyst. Here's the problem with that. And I agree with you, in one sense. But if you're Cory Sandhagen, this is your life's work. You just put out a masterpiece of a performance. And forever, the tape of that performance is Michael Bisping talking about how great your opponent is while you're doing the greatest work of your career. It's just disrespectful to the fighter, on a show, on your own podcast, whatever, but when you're doing the official UFC work, you got to call it down the middle. You got to try your very best, and I understand it's hard to do, but Bisping, he's been called out for it recently, and not really in this fight. I think it was in another fight. It might have been Gaethje calling Bisping out for it. Was it Gaethje?
Gaethje, man. He's calling out everybody. He's calling out Conor this week.
But people were saying, people have called out Bisping in the past, and I was hearing him this weekend. I was like, oh, man, this is rough. Because it was clear, like, Sandhagen was just whooping on him, and Vera had no answer. And that's, again, the great champions, what makes them so impressive is not how good that they can be. It's how good they can be on the night consistently. The ability to show up as an MMA fighter on the night and be at your peak on a fight night is so huge. And you could have good days and bad days in the gym, but you better make sure that your best days are on fight night. And if you don't show up at your best on fight night, well, your worst better be good enough to beat whoever is in front of you. And Marlon Vera's worst was not good enough to beat Cory Sandhagen last weekend, and it really did not look like the best version of Marlon Vera. And I think that was my disappointment with the fight. Not that Vera lost, not whatever. It's just like, I think we expected the fight to be more exciting than it was. I think we expected more from Marlon Vera. Sandhagen was the favorite. He was supposed to win, but in the fifth round towards the end, Vera was really going after it, and you wondered
too late,
where
man.
was this the rest of the fight? And I just wish that he would gone after it a little bit more, put himself in the fire a little bit more, because when he did, he started having success, and it was like, man, this is 2 minutes into the fight in the 5th round here, and if you would have done this, even in the 3rd round, you might have been able to get some momentum and steal some rounds, even though one judge scored it for Marlon Vera, which,
that was funny, man.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That is horrible. That is
man, I agree.
like, that guy should never ever judge a fight again. It was clearly Cory Sandhagen's fight. 5 rounds to nothing, maybe 4 rounds to 1, but never 3-2 for Marlon Vera.
But
that
even
was
that one,
unbelievable.
But Dave, even that one round, like, honestly, where it couldn't have been the 5th. Maybe it was the 5th. But let's just say,
one round. This judge gave him 3. There's a judge
doesn't make sense.
that was there that got paid money to judge an MMA fight professionally and scored that fight for Marlon Vera.
Dude, we've seen that in the last, almost the last 4 fights, 2 pay-per-views. We've seen judging where it's like, what the hell is going on? We've talked about that many times on our show. Like, there's something wrong with the judging scene. Obviously, all of them are not MMA judges, and if they are, they're low level. We need professional, retired MMA fighters to come in here and know how to score the game based on MMA. Not boxing rules, not karate rules, not taekwondo rules, and this is the biggest problem. And I agree with you. There was no way in hell Vera won 3 rounds. There was no way. I took Vera. We all did. And you know what? We underestimated Sandhagen. And you know what? Sandhagen always comes and he performs well. His stand-up game, his leg attacking game, his grappling game is always on par. But I didn't think he was going to do what he did to Marlon Vera. Again, we always hear it. Vera starts slow. Yeah, okay. It was the same thing, same song and dance. So he starts slow. Okay, you better starting a little bit quicker. 2nd round, the same bullshit. 3rd round, 4th round. And I agree with you. In the 5th round, those last 2 minutes, if he would have performed like that throughout the fight, okay, he would have definitely won it. But you can't wait for the 5th round when, I don't know, man, maybe he knew that he was up 3 rounds. I don't know. I don't know how. But I can tell you this. He didn't deserve the win in that fight, by any way. There was no way that he won. I don't know where he won that round. I'm going to give maybe the 5th because of the 2 minutes, like barrage that he gave, but it wasn't even enough. So, look, it's a disappointment. We went with him, but you know what? We made a mistake with Cory Sandhagen, man. We underestimated him again, man. He's not 16-4 for no reason, eh?
He looked great. He looked really good.
Did, man.
It was a good performance from Cory Sandhagen. And unfortunately, no UFC pay-per-view this weekend, no UFC event at all this weekend for us to break down and give you our parlay picks. But next Thursday night on the show, we'll definitely give you our predictions for UFC 287 in Miami. It'll be Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. And that's the main event, of course, for the middleweight title. And the co-main event, you got Jorge Masvidal taking on Gilbert Burns. Tremendous pay-per-view card next weekend in Miami, and we'll be doing a watch-along for that right here on the Ringside Report Network. This weekend, though, it's all about WrestleMania. It's all about WrestleMania. I'll be previewing Mania tomorrow night. I'll be recapping Night 1 of Mania after Night 1 on Saturday, and then I'll be doing the post-show again on Sunday for Night 2 of WrestleMania. Shout out to Angelo on the chat. Shout out to Leor as well, who's a member of the team, who asks, is AJ aware yet that his favorite human being, Logan Paul, is going to be wrestling at WrestleMania this weekend? He'll be wrestling Seth Rollins at WrestleMania
he's going to
this
smash
weekend.
Seth. Man, Seth is going down. He's going to get slammed down, Prime style. Prime. Logan Paul, number 1.
Does the fact that Jake Paul looked awful against Tommy Fury kill Logan's value a little bit, or
not really?
No,
not in
really.
WWE.
No, man. No, man. Logan looked amazing.
Guys.
Listen, man. Some of the stuff he's done in the wrestling ring, let's be honest, man, has been very impressive. The guy is really he's done things that were insane. Look, a lot of credit to Logan, man. Listen, Seth Rollins, I hope he gets smashed. I hope Logan smashes him, man.
Curb stomp.
Boom, down. Screw Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins minus 190, the favorite. Logan Paul plus 145, the
don't
underdog.
give me odds, man. Don't give me
No?
odds, man. I already saw some. Because, I mean, odds fucking suck. Because I saw that odd on fucking Cody, man, and pissed me off, man. I don't even know if I want to watch it no more because I
What?
want
What
Roman to
happened?
win.
Upsets happen, Fred.
Well, I mean, Cody's like a huge favorite, man, in a scripted sport, man.
Yeah, a lot of people think Cody's going to win on Sunday night. I'm not convinced.
I hope Roman wins.
Yeah, I think it's 50-50. I don't think you can ever count Roman Reigns out, especially considering who Roman Reigns is and what he represents in the WWE. I'll get into it tomorrow, but Roman Reigns is that guy. You know, he's the Hulk Hogan, the John Cena, the Steve Austin, the Rock. Cody Rhodes is that other guy. He's the Ric Flair, the Dusty Rhodes, the other.
I
You know?
read people comparing Cody Rhodes to Steve Austin, and I'm like, nah, man, not at all, man. Steve Austin was a decent wrestler for WCW, and WWE pushed him to the other level. Whereas Cody Rhodes has been like a journeyman for a long time, man. It's not the same thing, man. He's been at many places. I don't know, man. Go Roman, man. And I never was a Roman fan.
Steve Austin was never the executive vice president of a company that he helped run for a while before leaving that company. It's a different story. Right? Cody left a pretty good spot in AEW. Or did he? Yeah, Cody and Roman Sunday night. That'll be a big one. You've got Brock Lesnar on the card. He'll be wrestling over 7 foot tall Nigerian giant Omos.
Come on, Brock.
I think Brock will win that one. I think Brock is he should win. I think he's a huge favorite.
I got a beef on that fight. And I know I'm not the only one, and I don't even watch wrestling, but it feels like they gave us Brock and Bobby Lashley without a real finish, man. That elimination chamber fight, man, that wasn't a real finish to their beef, man. So why not have that at WrestleMania?
It was kind of an interesting.
They were trying to do other matches. They were trying to do Omos and Brock, and they were trying to do Bobby and Bray Wyatt, but something happened with Bray Wyatt where he's not available.
But I mean, that Bobby and Brock feud needed an end, and why not do it at WrestleMania? That makes no sense again.
I don't know. Apparently, it was a Vince McMahon call. And, Vince McMahon.
You know, I saw this thing pass today because, WWE were all over ESPN, and people were making fun of ESPN, going Dana White, Vince McMahon, you guys know who to associate yourself with.
Yeah, and they don't ask them any tough questions. Nope. Letting it all slide. Hey, Vince McMahon, you're paying off a bunch of women that you were inappropriate with, and who knows? What's that about? Hey, Dana White, you slap your wife, then you open a power slap league. What's that about?
Forget about it.
Whatever. And Ronda Rousey is going to be on this card. She'll be teaming with Shayna Baszler. Shayna and Ronda, former UFC fighters, they're a tag team now. In a jabroni of a match here at WrestleMania, they're going to be
might be on the pre-show, no? I'm looking at the Sunday card, and I'm like, that's the fight you put on pre-show.
It's pretty weak. The only reason it's not on the pre-show is because Ronda's on it. It's Ronda and Shayna against Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, against Natalya and Shotzi and Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. It's a fatal 4-way women's tag team match, and that's what they're putting Ronda in this year, which seems
if
like
that's
a major
not
step down.
Which one is?
Well, I don't know if they have any matches on the pre-show. I think those are all main show matches, because 6 matches for a card at WrestleMania, it's like a little thin. They might add another one for night 2. Night 1 has 7 matches. Austin Theory against John Cena, Seth Rollins against Logan Paul, Trish Lita and Becky against Damage Control.
Can't go till midnight on Sunday, man. Come on, Vince. Don't do that, man.
Yeah, man. Listen, man,
WrestleMania
this was my
should
argument.
be on a Saturday.
Exactly. Freddie's right. We were talking about
Make
this
it
before the
last
show.
8
The last
hours
time I
on a
watched
Saturday.
WrestleMania,
I don't care.
Dude, the last time I watched WrestleMania last year, it was insane, man. 2 days. Listen, keep it to 1 day, a mega day of nonstop action. Keep the hype train going. Energy levels are at its fullest, man. When you've got a whole day, listen, you want to do a card from 2 o'clock and end it at 11 o'clock on a Saturday? Perfect. Everybody can sleep in on a Sunday. The party time atmosphere on a Saturday night is where you need to be. On a Sunday, man, you've got the Saturday, then you got to drag it to the Sunday. The Sunday fizzles off if it's not great, and then you got Dave like flipping out on Monday. We don't need this shit. We need to have a great card on a Saturday. And you know what? Most people have to struggle to stay up to watch the Sunday events. And I was one of them. I'm like, what is this shit? You know, I mean, I enjoyed it. But, man, I agree with Freddie.
Yeah.
You keep it on a Saturday and you turn it into, like, there will be better ratings on that one day as there would be to two. You know, and the hype train would be better, man. You can make it a
Two
better
days in a
story
row
game.
around midnight?
It's too much,
I don't
man.
know.
Crazy.
And think about it. How about those poor people in England to watch it? They got to wake up at like 6 in the morning on a Monday. They're at work, man. You think Wally's listening to like Wrestlemania? Screw that shit, man.
I envy our buddy Leor out in Vancouver. It starts at 5 p.m. his time. That's not so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
good.
still, man, it's not great. It's a
I should
Sunday,
live on
man.
the West Coast.
Yeah,
Plus,
but
it's like
it'll be over
it's-
at 9
it's-
o'clock. I mean, it's pretty good.
That's great.
Yeah. You can come on here, watch the post show, no problem. Won't be too late for him. And that'll be good. We'll have a post show on Sunday. AJ might even join me on the post show Sunday.
I'm
might.
going to watch WrestleMania, but I'm going to be like upset if it's
You can
like
come on the
shitty for
post show
Sunday.
then. If you want, I don't know if I have a co-host for the post show on Sunday night. It could be you, AJ. It could be you.
I'll give you. Listen, man. If
We'll
they give
see.
me that
We'll talk.
bullshit where Ronda, listen, if they give Ronda a bad loss like the last one where I was really upset, where she had the knee bar, she had the submission. There's no way that like Rousey's gonna miss. She's gonna fuck up on a submission like that. There's no way, man. That was bullshit.
I like
you're gonna
AJ
make her
getting
lose-
mad about wrestling. That's fun for me.
No, it gets me mad, man. Because you know what? If
I
you
like it.
want to give the opponent the win, make it real.
Okay. So
That's
I
all I
told
can
you
say,
that
man.
I was going to explain to you why I'm a bad influence on Fred. Now,
Yeah. What is it? Weed?
I already thought I was a bad influence on Fred, but then his
Guppies.
wife confirmed it, who said I was a bad influence.
Ooh, that's not good, man.
Yeah,
when the wife
when
gets
Fred's
involved,
wife
it's a bad
is saying
sign.
I'm a bad influence, then you know I'm in trouble.
Dr. Phil.
So,
Yeah, that's a Dr. Phil, man.
so the other day I see on Facebook his wife posted a picture of Fred's son. Fred, this is okay if I say this story?
Uh-oh, what's going on here? I didn't hear this.
So she posts a picture of Fred's son, and he's got like a bunch of Hot Wheels around him, and the caption is, this kid doesn't think he's got enough Hot Wheels, right? But he's got a ton of Hot Wheels, you know, and he's kind of sitting there like, and it's like, oh, he doesn't have enough Hot Wheels, right? So then, a bunch of people are commenting on her post, and I comment, it's never enough Hot Wheels. Because I started collecting Hot Wheels at some point in the past couple of years, and somehow got Fred involved in it. So now we've got these Hot Wheel collections that continue to grow. And I wrote, there's never enough Hot Wheels. And then she said that I was a bad influence on Fred because she hears far too often in her household, oh, look what Dave just showed me. And then Fred is showing her some picture that I sent her of some shit that he has to go and buy now because it's cool and he wants it. Because I want it, and of course he wants it because we like the same shit. So today, I did the same thing. Now, don't tell your wife here, Fred. Don't tell your wife this story because I don't want to get in more trouble with her. I don't want her to
listening
like me.
live,
I don't
dude.
want her to
She already
dislike me.
knows.
She already knows? Oh, jeez. She must be mad at
course.
me already. So then today, because of that, I almost said, let's joke around with Fred. I sent Fred a picture of a set of Hot Wheels, some Disney Hot Wheels that I had seen in some stores because I'm always looking around trying to find the latest thing. And I sent him a picture of the set, and I said, oh, Fred, you want these? Because I know what Fred likes. And he said, yes. I said, which ones? He said, all of them. So it's like a set of 8 or 10 Hot Wheels. You know? So I said, okay. And I happened to be going out. So I went out, and I popped by my local Toys R Us, and I bought 6 of these for him. So I didn't get the whole set, but this is what happens. I go out, I find these rare Hot Wheels. They don't have any more left of this Toys R Us, Fred. I got the last ones of each, right?
Nemo.
Disney,
Wow.
Nemo.
That's cool, man.
There's Nemo. Here's Grogu, or whatever they call him.
Wow. That little gremlin thing.
Grogu.
Yeah, it's true.
It says Grogu. Crush.
Damn,
Nice
is that
crush.
turtle on weed.
Here's Here's Iron Man. There's your Iron
Well,
Man.
that's cool. That's cool.
What else do you got here? Some Mandalorian, some sort of Star War. And, oh, this is a nice one. Olaf.
Yeah.
Ooh, the
Damn.
Olaf ice truck. So I got all these
Creepy.
for Fred, and these are the last ones that they had in the store, Fred. They had no more. I grabbed everything, so now they're all gone. So I find these rare Hot Wheels for Fred. We're still looking for Elsa from Frozen, and we'll find that for you. And that's the thing with me and Fred. Like, Fred, you know, we start making these collections, and I have a collection of Hot Wheels, and then some are missing, right? So then we don't find all the ones we're looking for. And then I say, Fred, I will find this missing Hot Wheel, and then I wind up finding it. I wind up seeking them out, and I wind up finding things like this, right? These Mickey
Wow,
Mouse.
that's cool, man.
This Mickey Mouse car that I wind up getting for me and for Fred, and then for me again. I have a bunch of them.
That's the Illuminati package. I love it. Nice, Dave.
Yeah.
Nothing like Walt Disney.
So this is why I'm a bad influence on Fred, because I tell Fred about Hot Wheels that he's unaware of. He doesn't know they exist. And then I say, hey, do you want them? I'm like a Hot Wheels pusher. I go, hey, Fred, you want these? And he's like, oh, yeah, I want all of those. And then I go to the store, I purchase them for him, and then I sell them to him at the same price that I bought them. I'm really not profiting off this.
Nice.
I'm just helping my buddy, get cool toys for his friend because it's fun, and I'm out in the stores getting stuff for myself, so I might as well grab them for my buddy Fred while I'm out there. So, yeah, I'm a Hot Wheels pusher, and now little Alfred and little Susie have gigantic collections. And it's all because of Unky Dave.
And I just want to point out, the face he was making was mostly because we were telling him not to play with the Hot Wheels because we wanted to take a picture. So that's mostly why he was making that face.
Oh, man. Well, there you go. Well, Fred, unfortunately, from that set, there's a Spider-Man, but there was no Spider-Man for you.
Wow, that's cool, man.
So the Spider-Man is I got the Spider-Man for myself. That's what kind of started this whole thing. I have to keep that Spider-Man.
I'm going to try to take that one from you.
That one's for me.
I'm going to try to steal it, Dave.
You don't have to steal it. I'll give you some other stuff, AJ. I got plenty of stuff over here.
No, but the Spider-Man one is pretty cool, I must admit. The other ones are nice. Mickey Mouse was interesting. But Spider-Man
is nice.
Listen,
Mouse.
This is my current favorite right here. Look at this. From the new Mario Brothers movie. This is my favorite one right here.
Dave. All this car talk should lead us into Freddie's NASCAR talk,
update with Freddie. What do you got, Fred? What's happening in the world of motorsports?
Yeah, well, you see, Dave, I wanted to talk about Kurt Busch, man. Kurt Busch is Kyle Busch's big brother, older brother, man. Last year, Kurt Busch, man, was driving the 45 car for Michael Jordan, 23XI Racing. Was having a good season, man. Won a race or two. And then he had a big concussion, and he had to get out of the car. And unfortunately, he pretty much retired, man. And now Kurt Busch is an analyst. And Dave's not going to like this because Dave doesn't want analysts to have emotions. But Kurt Busch was calling the race, the race last weekend. And his team, the 45 team, won. And he got all choked up while calling the race, man, because he loves those guys, man. He raced with those guys, man. All those, they're his teammates. So for him to be happy for his teammates, which, I could see him being bitter or whatever. The injury got his career shortened. That's not fun. But, hey, this guy loves his team and was all emotional for the win. And the guy that finished in second was his brother. So even better, man. Kurt Busch, man, future Hall of Famer. Great racer. We love you, Kurt.
And what about that guy, Daniel Suarez? What happened with him with a $50,000 fine? That's crazy, man.
They call Daniel everybody's favorite amigo, but, man, he wasn't really he wasn't everybody's favorite amigo, man. He got mad, and it got dangerous, man. He got a $50,000 fine because he decided to hit somebody on pit road when there's a bunch of people walking right next to it. So, if he would have hit that car in the wrong way, he could have hit a pedestrian. So that was a bad decision. But hey, man, emotions in NASCAR. That's what happens, man. He's still my favorite amigo.
Sounds dangerous.
But still, man, it is dangerous. But he got $50,000, man. It's a heavy fine.
He's lucky not to get suspended. I could have seen that.
Listen, if he would have hit someone and somebody would have got injured, not only would he have had like obviously he would have been suspended for the year,
Could have killed
but he would have
somebody.
had a lawsuit on his hands, right? You know, like, and you kill someone, that's it. His career is over. So that $50,000 fine is actually pretty nice compared to what could have happened, you know. But anyways, like, look, it's a hot sport, hot emotions, man, and that shows it.
He got mad at his own teammate, man. He was mad at his own teammate, man, and they raced for Pitbull, man. People always say, oh, NASCAR, man, it's this Southern thing, Hicks, blah, blah, blah. Pitbull has 2 teams. Michael Jordan has 2 teams. NASCAR's international.
And what happened with Kimi Räikkönen, man, from F1 to NASCAR? He didn't do too well, apparently.
He was doing good until it got rough in the end. It was a good race, man. It was fun.
But he's all upset. From what I heard, he's ready to like leave the the association.
I don't know. I didn't see that. But Jensen Button, who's another F1 guy, he basically said, like, wow, these guys, like in F1, you'll be too wide for a corner, and then, you know, it gets spread out. Whereas in NASCAR, you're always like too wide with somebody driving next to you. So when you're not used to that, man, it could be a little like nerve-wracking. It could be hard, even for a professional.
Well, there it is.
What about
Freddie's NASCAR update? AJ got more questions for
AJ's
Fred?
ready. I'm happy.
No, because it's kind of interesting. But I was gonna say, like, I like Bubba Wallace, man. I just like the name. I like following that guy, man.
Bubba, man, he made a bad mistake, and it wasn't even his fault. His brake line just broke, and he fucking wiped out 2 guys. But then in the interview, he said something that people went like, oh, why do you say that, Bubba? Because he said, man, I suck so much I should be replaced. And when you're a competitor at the highest level of racing, you should never tell people you should be replaced. Because trust me, there's a lot of people that want your job, man. So you better fucking hold on to it. And Michael, you're driving for Michael Jordan, man. He doesn't want to hear you say you want to be replaced. He wants to hear you say you're going to win.
Yeah, but that's
Michael
Bubba
Jordan.
Wallace,
He ain't
man.
fighting for second.
If you're not first, you're last, man.
That's right.
Bubba
Get it
Wallace.
together, Bubba.
But you gotta have a name. But Bubba has a perfect name for racing, man. Can you replace a Bubba Wallace?
It's a good
gonna be
NASCAR
hard.
name. It is good.
It is, man.
I assume half of them are named Bubba Wallace.
You know he's black.
Really?
Bubba, yeah, remember Bubba? Bubba Shrimps?
Bubba Wallace is black.
All right. I'd assume he's every guy named Bubba. I assume is looks like Bubba Sparks.
I thought you were gonna say from
No clue who
Forrest
that
Gump,
is.
man. Bubba.
Really?
Who's Bubba Sparks?
Bubba Shrimps.
Bubba Sparks. It's gonna get ugly in here. No? Nothing?
Nope.
Bubba Sparks
Nothing.
was a white rapper who was produced by Timbaland in
Timberland.
the 90s.
Yeah, but is he as good as Vanilla Ice, dude? Come on. Who knows that guy?
Bubba Sparks.
But
I
we
don't
know
know.
Vanilla Ice, man.
I thought you guys would know Bubba
Who is
Sparks.
that?
Bubba
That
Sparks.
looks like King Kong Bundy, man.
That is Bubba Sparks.
Looks like King Kong Bundy, man. That's his son for sure.
No, it's Bubba Sparks.
What happened to him? Damn, Bubba Sparks got Bubba big.
He was always big. This album, Dark Days, Bright Nights. I think I have this album. All right.
Interesting.
Bubba Sparks. I'm not surprised AJ doesn't know who that is. I'm a little surprised if Fred doesn't know who that is. I'm
No
surprised.
Can you play a little?
No.
30
Can't
seconds.
do
You
that.
can, man.
After the
Legally
show, though,
allowed
I'll
to.
play some Bubba Sparks. All right. If you want, you could go
All
listen
right.
to the song "Ugly" by Bubba Sparks. I think that was really his big song. I can't imagine there was anything
Couldn't you
else.
like sing it, Dave? I mean, can we get a little bit of something?
It's gonna get
Can you give me
ugly
a little?
in here.
Okay.
2001. Timbaland produced it. You know Timbaland?
Yeah, who doesn't?
Do you know
The
Timbaland?
Facebook guy. Yeah, the guy from Facebook.
Facebook. What? So you don't know who Timbaland is? Fred, you know
Yeah,
Timbaland?
man, I told you. The guy
Yeah, I
from
know who
Facebook, the
Timberland
movie.
is.
Yeah, Fred knows who Timbaland is.
He's the guy that sings with that. Is that who's the girl that sing like a promiscuous girl?
Nelly Furtado.
Yeah, so that's
Yes.
the guy that sings with her.
Tata.
Yes.
I know Timberland.
And he produced those songs. He produced Missy Elliott. He produced Aaliyah. Timbaland and Magoo had their own thing. He produced Justin Timberlake, all that Crimea River stuff, that big Justin Timberlake album. That was all Timbaland production.
Crimea River, man.
Guy
Talk
is
about that song.
Production
birthday to
genius.
Celine
He's
Dion.
made some of the greatest beats in hip-hop history. Timbaland. And he produced Bubba Sparks, and that's why Bubba Sparks had a hot album. Because he was with Timbaland. Okay? And that is your hip-hop lesson for the day. And that's it. So we did a NASCAR update right into hip-hop, which I like. I like the mix, you know? Shout out to Bubba Wallace and Bubba Sparks.
I was happy when you dissed Bisping because I was like, man, I'm going to put that back in his face, man.
Yeah.
Emotions. Good.
I'm not saying disrespecting Bisping. I like Bisping. I just think, you know, it was really obvious that his coach was the same coach for Marlon Vera. So I'll be back here tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, with Johnny North for Wrestling Uncensored, our WrestleMania preview edition. We'll preview WrestleMania tomorrow night right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Favor.
What?
You do me a favor. I had a deep discussion with some people about Johnny North this week, and we've all decided, we've come to the conclusion, and you got to express this to Johnny, that he can't be a heel anymore. No. We decided that Johnny cannot be a heel anymore. Johnny has to be a good guy. Johnny's got the looks, the body type, the character. He's got to be the superhero guy. He's got to be the good guy. No more heel for Johnny. And I'm telling you, his career is going to soar.
You ask him.
Hey, listen, man. I am. I'm just telling you. Johnny's listening, I'm sure. Johnny, don't be a heel anymore.
I don't know.
Don't be a crack heel.
It's not really up to him necessarily, but okay.
Well, you know what? Let me talk to these guys. Johnny, let me talk to these guys that are giving him those type of ideas. I'll take a chair over the back. I'll give him a chair over the back like they've never got before.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Johnny, take my advice. Let's go with the good guy.
That's not how he becomes a baby face.
Yeah, I don't think Johnny North should be taking pro wrestling career advice from a man who fundamentally doesn't understand that pro wrestling is a work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And even when I say pro wrestling is a work,
AJ, man.
Even when I tell him pro wrestling is a work, he doesn't even know what that means. So I don't know if you should be getting involved too deeply, you know?
I'm telling you, man, it was deep discussions this week. Johnny needs to be... Listen, man, some people, dude, you're asking too many questions. Forget about it.
All right, Bacala. We'll talk to you later.
Bobby Bacala. Bacala.
And that's it right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Go to ringsidereport.net/support to find out more ways to support the channel.